Adelaide Crows.
Chad Corns in the centre at the moment, in the middle of the ground, not picking up revolt. Chaplin's got him.
Well, that's a real surprise, Bruce, because they've got three big tools down there, the Saints, and for Corns to be playing in the midfield, a curly one early on.
Umpires tonight,
Right,
McBurney, Stevick and Grun.
You okay? We'll be bouncing in the middle, Brendan. Bouncing in the middle to start with and just see how we go, all right?
I was going to say no surprise, generally how we do it. Amy Stadium then. Looks in beautiful nick. Despite some rain over the past couple of days, Clark decisively wins it down. Salopek claimed immediately.
No chance,
Rides it up. No chance.
Thank you.
You might be right with what you said,
Give us
Ben.
a ring, give us a
Early
ring.
goals, while the rain's on here, we are expecting some really heavy showers.
Play on. Got his jumper. Port Adelaide free kick.
Lade gets the
In the
free.
back, held his jumper.
Two of the great tap ruckmen of the past decade, Lade and Clark, going at it tonight.
Mine.
Lade, in rare form last week, goes to half forward, taken by Cassisi, 55 metres out Cassisi. Treadway offers, that's ignored. You can see White in the square wants it long. He's been in good form too, works in front, missed the football, and it slides out of bounds in the rightful forward pocket.
Could have almost been given a free kick there. He had good front position. Player had arms around him, but
Nick, don't hold.
McBurney, Grun or Stevick, neither one of those umpires saw the decision.
So Lade and Clark, it is going to be one of the jewels of the night, and there are plenty of them as Port Adelaide rush it behind. Yes, Dennis mentioned White, 3 goals in Perth against Fremantle. Graham, the birthday boy today, 23 years of age. Ball, who Ricky talked about.
Downfield hold. Lenny, your kick here. Brett, against you. Play on.
So Ball and Hayes, they're going to be important tonight, aren't they? Out wide to Clark. He's played a lot of footy on this ground. He's been in a lot of showdowns against Lade for the Crows.
Yours.
And probably the two best tap ruckmen in their business, Bruce. As we said earlier, it'll be a wonderful contest between those two this evening.
So Fisher to Goddard, he's got a bit of space.
He's at left half back, Goddard. Comes out wider, Attard. The defensive side of the wing. Former Brisbane Lion.
Move it on.
Just got all their numbers back at the moment. Port, he's got no option. He'll have to go down the line.
Goes very close to Wilson. As a result, it affects the kick, and that's a strong mark. Corns just drifting back, clever use of the body to his brother. Kane to Chad. Chad's at right half back. Sent Milne the wrong way on the mark and sends one up towards the wing. What a beautiful kick. Storming up Marnie. Resplendent with a new haircut this week. Has it on the wing between the interchange gates.
Been a good story, Marnie, to be picked up out of the VFL. They took a risk on him, and he's paid it back tenfold.
Surgeon, short. Loney just inside the centre square. Another half-distance pass. Pettigrew back to Loney. Penetrating kick inside the forward 50, and in front, White takes the mark. He'll kick it goal from about 30 metres out.
Warren Treadway may not be in the best form of his career, but what he does, he takes a very good player, and a player like Damon White can slip under the guard. And for the Saints, they would have been looking at Treadway, but they would have been very aware that this bloke can grab it and he can kick a goal.
4 goals this season, all from set shots.
It's a beautiful kick, Dennis.
Averaging 14 possessions, well, as you can see, 15. Carry the decimal point. And he comes in 7 marks. 5 goals from set shots.
That's exactly what Paul would have liked. We're not going to see the prettiest game of football here this evening. A lot of numbers back for both sides, but when they come into big, tall players, and we know that St. Kilda have got a lot of holes down back, if they go to White and they go to Treadway, they're going to have some problems, the Saints.
Good kick, wasn't it?
Gee, Max Hutchton and all the tools for the Saints, very important losses.
White's goal, and the rain starting to tumble down here at Amy Stadium. Get down to Tim Watson in a moment for some of the key matchups. So Port with both the scores. Dal Santo, who was with Kane Corns early. Chaplin, who came in tonight for Brogan. Can he seize the opportunity? Dal Santo, that's ridden into the ground by Kane Corns, no free kick. And let's go down to Tim for the matchups.
We've already mentioned that first matchup. Kane Corns has gone to Del Santo, even though he started out of the square at that last centre bounce. Baker's gone to Sean Burgoyne, Montagna to Peter Burgoyne, and Cassisi is picking up Harvey. I'd like to see Del Santo take Corns right to the goal square.
Clark and Lade, just a little toe poke by Wilson, and then Sean Burgoyne cleverly. Tredray's first real bit of action here. Blake with him. Ball comes out.
Ball's out, play on.
Hayes.
Ball's out.
Here the umpire saying that Blake ducked his head. Good hands. Wilson, okay. To Kane Corns.
Kane Corns steps around Del Santo inside the forward 50. It runs towards the boundary. Gilbert quite content to take it out, and the umpire says throw it in. Sense of drama.
Gave him the benefit then, Dennis. He's only a young man. Just have a look at this. He gets it. He says, "Oop, bit close for me. I might just go over here." Got away with one then.
He hasn't been to the actor's studio, that's for sure. One down by Clark in the wrong direction, though. Wilson, the hurried kick as the rain starts to fall. Ball wanders towards the opposite pocket, slammed across the line by White from behind. Not the worst spot in the world tonight.
Don't hold, don't block.
Here, says Tim.
It's a young bench for the Power.
Some young faces, certainly. High cost of car insurance. The ball trickles out of bounds in the pocket. Another throw in. It could be that sort of night.
Well, it's funny you say that, Dennis, because Nathan Cracker brought his first car this week. So, sure, his insurance, being an 18-year-old, rather hefty.
That puts the knockers on him. Blade flicks it down behind. Gilbert did well. Ditto. Ball, forcing it forward, Hayes, then Clark in the opposite direction, Salopek. Now an opportunity for Pettigrew. Montagna, that ball is bouncing around like a pinball. And now we've got a whistle, right on the 50, a bounce. Port lead it by 7.
Saw Gilbert a moment ago. They made a quick change. Gilbert's on to White. There was a bit of a discrepancy there with Graham. So this is going to be tough going. Ross Lyon, just his 5th game as an AFL coach. He started spectacularly with a big win over the Demons in round 1. Tredray, Chad Corns, and it's going to be so hard. That goal's worth a bit already. Harvey to Clark. Clark bangs away. Surgeon, who's got the job on Milne, and Milne poached it off him and then goes bang towards centre wing. It's a Garrick free kick.
Wait! Fraser! Had his arm. Had his arm. Mark's here.
So they weren't in the contest. They were off the ball coming into the contest.
Mark's here.
Wakeland and Garrick.
Stay on it, Toby. Stay on it. Play on.
So you can see they were 15 metres away. Here's ball.
Got on it, Don. Stay on it.
In pouring rain.
You know Paul won't kick it all that long. He's lost a lot of penetration with his kicking.
Pettigrew decided not to go for the mark. Gehrig. It'll be a tough night for big, powerful forwards, you would think. And there's one at either end with Tredray and Gehrig, and the boundary throw in.
Xavier Clark will play an important role tonight. We saw him up in Cairns. He was probably the cleanest player on that night in the wet. Saints will be hoping that he is one grab player this evening.
Boundary throw in. Lade went to ground. There's the man Dave was talking about. Montagna at close quarters. Harvey did nicely, slips it away. Hayes 45 metres out, fires, and kicks it behind. The opening score for the Saints tonight. Hard to know who this weather will favour.
It's not like the old days too, Dennis, where you have a football that's the only ball being used for the quarter. You've got so many balls in the bag now that the balls are rotating, so you haven't got a heavy footy throughout the whole 30 minutes.
Thurston's deep to the pocket. This is Chaplin. Called up for Brogan tonight. A left footer back to the opposite pocket. Now Wakeland, game 250, a little chip just outside the defensive 50. Wilson's away in the rain, kicks beyond the wing. Marnie a contest, found it on the ground, jumps to his feet, well played. Wonderful balance down the ground. Tredray was being held and he's getting a free kick.
No, he didn't. Mark's here. We're in Tredray. Miles off the ball. We've got to let him run for it. Don't go through. Don't go through. Mark's here.
Well, no doubting that.
Yeah, got hold of him, took his eyes off the ball, Dennis, and once you do that, you're asking for trouble.
The night has 1,000 eyes, especially a Friday night. Cameras, umpires, not much goes unnoticed. A poster to Warren Treadwell.
Would have loved a goal there just for the confidence. He didn't kick it badly.
He kicked the ball really well, actually, got over the top of it. It's always tricky into that end of the ground also, Bruce.
Del Santo short to Baker. You'd reckon he'd thrive in conditions like this. It's a good question you posed a moment ago, Dennis. Just to who does this suit, the Saints or Port Adelaide?
I think Ross Lyon would have been secretly hoping for rain. It negates all the tall defenders that he is losing. Smaller players on the ground, it just may play into his hands.
Ball at half back. I know Port thought with the heavy conditions that Ricks might be a worry, but he's not in the team tonight, just his body strength. Clark got it back. Revolt was the big fly, and then Clark nicely weighted kick to Milne, and Milne kept his feet, and Surgeon went down, and Milne's away, and that's a clever kick that doesn't quite find the target. Pettigrew back, Port under the pump. Loney.
Hasn't got the ball.
Free kick.
No, he didn't have it. He didn't take possession.
So disappointing for Kazicki because they had them corralled, didn't he? And Kane Corns is busy early.
Got two if you want it.
As always. Close to the boundary line to Loney.
Play on, you went off, play on.
He'll be umpire. No Saints near these players at the moment as they bring it out. Corns once more driving for distance towards the wing. Roden comes up, drops the mark. Follows up, jumps a teammate and Chad Corns. Goes to him now. Chad Corns against the boundary. Low down for Ebert. Socket away there by Fisher. Swooping on the loose ball and getting a free kick is Roden.
Straight away.
He was very good last week. Instrumental.
Play on.
Well, the Tigers would love to have him, Dennis. His form has been outstanding for the season.
The longer it went last week, the better he got. Surgeon kicks it down towards the attacking 50. And Kane Corns, who moments ago picked up 2 possessions in the defensive goal square virtually, has this ball 60 metres from goal.
Well, Ross Lyon has to make that move. Del Santo's got to go inside attacking 50 and get Kane Corns out of the play altogether.
Pettigrew's got it now. Chaplin, nobody behind him, and he's on centre wing. Pettigrew again from Chaplin. About 85 metres out, drives it long down towards full forward. It's a slippery ball, the place to be at the back or at the side. Ebert slings it towards the opposite pocket. Sliding in was Harvey. Good pick up, Graham. In trouble, the old stripper Graham. It's kicked forward out there by Thompson. Harvey onto the footy and he's away.
Well, it is his birthday, Dennis. Why not?
Exactly.
Is that your best line tonight? It was a good one. Del Santo to Clark.
That's a decade's worth.
Got the loose player. Just come on.
McWalter, who was the late inclusion for Brooks. They've gone for the medium midfielder rather than the tall. Goddard sets up a lot, doesn't he? Good kick to Harvey. Remarkable Harvey, isn't he? Inside, misses target. Thurston's has had a very good season down back. Salopeka had the flu last week. Chad Corns. So the Corns boys prominent early. Peter Burgoyne in the fray. Well done though by Attard to push forward. Clark's been busy. He had a horror week last week against the Bombers. Back in board to Montagna. Montagna hooks the ball towards full forward. At the back, Revolt off the ground. Milne swoops and kicks the goal.
Well, super effort by Nick Revolt then. Just looking at him there, he 4 or 5 leads and got rewarded. The ball came in. Just watching his work rate, he put so many leads together and finally got a result towards the end. But Milne, he has to do a fair bit tonight because he is hanging in this side by a thread. One player that is under the pump to perform, and Ross Lyon will like that very much.
It's put by a point. Tim Watson to make a point.
Baker's coming on and off the ground with Sean Burgoyne, and also Montagna the same with Peter Burgoyne. Chad Corns just has license to go where and wherever he wants to at the moment.
He was involved in getting it out of the centre. Symes kicks it down towards right half forward. Ebert, fickle bounce. Fisher comes away, kicks it back towards the wing. Salopek, an emerging young star, gets it across to Pettigrew. Salopek, Chad Corns. Now Wilson in the grasp. Salopek arches the back, did not get away. Strong tackle Hayes. Goddard, a hand pass. Boss gathered the half volley. Kicks beyond the wing. Chaplin did well. Worked in front of Revolt and pushed it out of bounds.
Like Brett Voss back in the side, just gives a little bit of strength, a little bit of experience. We know how good he is.
Played 61 consecutive matches, Brett Voss, coming into this year. This is his first game this season. He hurt his ankle on the way to Cairns, basically, the training session before the Cairns NAB Cup, and a slow start to the season for him. Symes round the body, big fly, not taken in the end by Bentley, and the Saints to build here with Graham on the end of it from Fiora. Poor kick, obviously. Voss with a chance. Handball okay, McQuarter too slow, gone. Loney to Chaplin, to Bentley, to Kane Corns. The Corns boys really busy now. He's got some time here, Kane Corns. Treadray on a long lead. Goes shorter to Roden. Roden's off. Goes for goal. 40 out. Looks okay. Looks really good now, doesn't it? He's one of the best stories in footy, Roden. He came to Port Adelaide late October, trained a week before the draft. The leadership group were asked by Mark Williams, shall we draft him? They said yes. They took him 86th in the draft, and here he is.
50th goal tonight too, Bruce. Probably the recruit of the year so far. He is an amazing story, as you mentioned, and good on him. He's had to work hard. He hasn't done it conventionally, and we hope he continues the form.
Power by 7 points, Ricky Olorenshaw.
Yeah, you were talking about Brett Voss before. He just came on a few minutes back. With all the injuries to their key defenders, you thought he would have gone into defence. He's actually gone to centre-half forward.
On the way down, laid maybe. Corns gains about 20 metres. Clark goes back, takes a tumble. Del Santo, ball, heard a voice, tried to go back. Corns got in the road. Cassisi, ball goes to ground. Over the top was Roden. And we'll have a ball up.
The Corns boys are wet weather specialists, Bruce. They are superstars in the wet.
Thompson out of the congestion as the rain gets heavier now. Chad Corns did well. Salopek comes away, kicks it down towards half forward, stretching. Wilson takes the mark, wants to go, kicks inside the forward 50. That is a telling kick in these conditions, and as a result they reap the benefit.
Quick movement inside 50.
That's right.
Quick movement, Den, and Wilson has been one of the standouts this year so far for Port. Also, penetrating kicks in the wet like that catch the defenders off guard. They're zoning in the space, and Warren Treadray saw it coming in. Well judged.
Treadray directly in front. It's pouring now. And he comes and kicks it.
Just got that loose player on half forward. They're moving it really quickly at the moment, Port. They're getting it in a lot quicker than what the Saints are. And the Tools, it is wet conditions, but they are causing a few headaches. They're always a little bit small down back. And even though it is wet, the players don't get any smaller, Bruce.
It's going to do his confidence a word of good trade. Just snuck it home. So Wilson and the two Corns boys, 18 disposals between them so far, 6, 6 and 6.
How good's this rain?
Just be careful.
Magic.
Okay? We're watching it. That's good. All right, guys, straight up.
So forget the bounce. Straight up for the rest of the night, you'd reckon. Salopek went to ground after Chad Corns. Cassisi back to Chad Corns, so 7th disposal for him. Tim's told us that he's just given a license to go where he wants, and now his brother again, Kane, to the pocket, and Brett Ebert. You think about his dad, a Vietnam veteran, Graham Corns, as Mark Williams looks on. He must be so proud on this Anzac weekend with these two boys playing so brilliantly. Have a look at them at the top there.
No surprise, they are Probably the best brother duo in the competition at the moment.
Clark thumps it out wide. Burgoyne goes after it. May have something to say about that observation.
Shaw's, Den, Collingwood.
There's a few, but yes, I think the Corns probably at the top of the tree right now. Not bad that one team might have 1 and 2. As Peter Burgoyne under pressure gets the kick away, and the mark is taken by Fisher. And this front we spoke of seems to be in for the night now. Just looking out to the left of our commentary, the moon completely covered. Plumbers take note. This is Blake, left half back. Short one. McWalter's got it. Plays on. Little stutter step. Runs to the wing. Kicks towards half forward. Gehrig is down there. Outmanoeuvred by his veteran opponent, Wakeland. Well done. Darrell comes again. Attracts a crowd. And we'll have a bounce.
You've got to take a risk here, the Saints. They've got to get the run through the middle of the ground. They've got to get the ball in quick. Their forwards are working pretty hard. 3 and 4 leads, but got to get in much quicker.
Clark
good in the wet.
Read that really well. Revolt wide. Chaplin happy to have him out there. It's a good lead already, isn't it? 20-7.
It is. It's a very good lead. The goals will be very hard to come by when the legs get tired and the bodies get sore from all the crashing and bashing.
Tim Watson.
Interesting move down here. Blake went off the ground and Koziski came on and picked up Treadray. Mark Williams saw the match-up then, and then he brought Mahoney back onto the ground to try and get a mismatch with Koziski. So there's a bit of a shuffle going on behind play.
Port hasn't led any match at quarter time this season, so they're 3-1, but they've been behind in all 4. Most famously against the Dockers when they trailed 3-8 in the opening round in Perth. So Bentley round the corner and over the top Attard for a boundary throw in.
Well, the poncho sales will be going mad out the front.
Let him run, guys. We're watching here. Off the ball, let him run.
Only the Hardy come out tonight.
Let him run, Loney.
Boundary throw in. Clark over the top. Loney running out of space. And out of bounds it goes.
Yeah, I'm watching Sean.
There's one.
Let him run.
Very committed.
I'm watching this one too.
And you've got to be committed to be out like this because they're expecting rain,
Yep.
but they've still turned up.
The trick with that guy is not to look up. Kasisi went down. Harvey got through. Clever kick as it turned out. Voss has it. Running to space. Del Santo. What a wonderful kick. Led into the ball. Gets through. Has gone a long way. Kicks from 35 and misses everything. The build-up was terrific by about 3 parties. In fact, he does sneak it through for a behind. His disgust was such, I thought he had missed. He just turned his back and ran away.
Well, that's where you get Kane Corns. You get him on the scoreboard, and a really good risky run there by Del Santo.
Well, Del Santo and Hayes, the 2 point scorers tonight, haven't got a goal between them this year. 2 of their key midfielders.
Plenty. I know there's nothing there, nothing silly.
He's a good story too. First season back after a knee reconstruction, and playing very good football.
So Clark and Lade, pretty even the battle. Goddard, who was furious a moment ago with Del Santo for not spotting him in the goal square. Montagna scrubs it along towards the boundary. We're going to see a lot of that. So we're going to see a lot of Lade versus Clark tonight.
I'm sick and tired of each other by the end of the match. Goddard, that's one thing I will say about Brendan Goddard. He needs to control his emotions outward. Yes, you can be furious, but make sure that you don't let your teammates see it.
Brad, I'm watching that one.
So Clark just the Kaczynski that time. Clark and Lade having a pretty even duel. Tim.
Baker's still wearing Sean Burgoyne like a glove. Every time Burgoyne tries to line himself up to run at the stop play, Baker just whacks him in the stomach and just makes sure that he blocks his path.
Play advantage, go!
Advantage is played. Hayes was taken high. Fiora kicks well inside the 50. Gehrig at the back. Did he get in the back of Wakeland? I think so. And Wakeland, who's doing very well down there, gets the free kick.
Been behind on every occasion when the ball's gone forward, Gehrig. Got to get in front when it's wet and slippery. Get in front, trying to get one over the back. And this is just a one on the shoulder, just pulled him down, didn't go at the footy.
Loney. Back to Wakeland. Just under 4.5 minutes till quarter time. Port Adelaide kicking with a slight breeze. Up by 12 and clearly the better side so far. Salopek. Port so often like to run down the clock late in quarters. Cassisi played well last week at the MCG. Now Chaplin into space. Almost bored St Kilda to death. And now they'll move the football. Wakeland drives it down towards half forward. Another long kick. Del Santo got a fist on it. Knocked it wide. Taken by Graham. Almost run down. Del Santo kicks inside the 50. Revolt has to wait. He's outnumbered. Fisted away and a big fist too from Pettigrew. But it's going to be a free kick. And it's going to Revolt. Umpire McBurney in the rain. Revolt, 2 games this season for 2 hauls of 4. He was involved in their opening goal, that soccer kick to the square that made it for Milne. And now a chance to score on his own right. Look at that rain. Almost a curtain effect. You've got to take your chances tonight. Revolt's got one. And he puts it out of bounds on the full.
Well, not the result that Nick would have liked, all the Saints, but gee, trying conditions. He is a superstar. But when the rain is coming down like that, we might give him an out, an excuse.
So Port let off the hook as a sloppy free kick that Symes gave away. He was the 3rd man in the contest. But Revolt spraying it badly. Wakeland, as Dennis said, playing really well in his milestone match. He strolls across half-back and then tries to set up to Treadray, who's looked terrific early.
Does look good.
Beautiful little give. And that was difficult.
He's tired.
Wilson's exhausted already.
Yeah, he's got to come
He's had so much of it.
Can't lift his legs.
Hayes from Fiora. Goddard and Loney together. Salopek clever to Loney. Port go forward for the first time in a while. Bangs it inside 50. Del Santo's been very good on Corns in the last 5 minutes after Corns had so much of it early. Good dual looming. Harvey, 20th season, still going strongly. Graham on the end of that.
I think Wilson may have an injury too. We'll just keep an eye on him. He's holding his right arm and he's been motioning towards the bench to come off for a couple of minutes now.
Graham to the wing. Clever mark. Revolt stopped it with the open hands, the palms, and then took it at the second attempt. Blake's kick though, not a good one. Pettigrew comes up, takes the mark, and I suppose Wilson taught us on the other side, nothing tonight can be taken for granted. Here's Marnie alongside the centre circles, some indecision, kicks for space. Can Treadray get there? Oh, terrific mark.
A lot of people thought he'd take 4 to 6 weeks to come back to his best.
60 metres out, spots the square vacant, but the kick goes towards the opposite pocket. Not his intention, off hands and out of bounds.
So the Wilson injury, he had a shoulder problem last year and he missed a few games late. He's had, of course, a couple of very bad knee injuries with the reconstruction, so that could be a real blow. He's been a terrific player for them over a long stretch, and again this season. Roden down low to Cassisi. He just squeezed through. Harvey's been terrific. Del Santo again, and this rain is pouring down. And David Swartz has got to go down after half-time, Dennis. That's why the poncho that I mentioned.
There's a fair chance I might get detoured on the way down.
He's emotionally involved.
Do they make ponchos for oxes?
I don't know what they sell for.
It's called a tarp.
Boundary throw in. Thurston's tapped it down. Hayes went without the football. Corn slid in. Chad. Down goes Loney. Tackled by Harvey. Salopek. Not much space out there. This is real tough going for the players. It requires concentration. Finesse has virtually gone out the door. Just application and concentration now. Just over the minute till quarter time. Boundary throw in. Fanatics.
Knock it out.
We love them.
Knock it out.
You can hear the umpire, but easier said than done. Right on the minute mark. Tempers flare a little as the umpire comes across to throw it up, and he wastes no time.
Thurston's doing a bit of ruck work. Sean Burgoyne. Cassisi.
Gee, it's hard in there.
Oh. Sheesh.
Stephen Baker's doing a wonderful job on Burgoyne. Kept him to one possession, and we know how instrumental he's been in the first month of footy.
Tim Watson telling us all about it, how he's frustrating him for the moment. Harvey, yet again. Loney's been busy. Late goal here would really hurt the Saints.
What about Robert Harvey? 35 years of age.
Don't hold off the footy, boys.
He'll be the last one to get up, as always. Puts his body on the line. Has he got another year, Bruce?
Asked me in round 22. It's a long way to go, but right now, yeah. Bentley, Salopek, Roden, who didn't probably think he did have another year late last season. Pettigrew just goes high. Treadway's in good nick early. Over the back. Burgoyne to run on. This hurts big time. It's not how many touches you get, is it? It's when you get them and what you do with them.
Well, he had 2 inches on Stephen Baker, who was so close to him. So we watched the ball come in here. Good contest too by Treadway.
How cross would Baker be right now?
Watch the next contest. You'll see how cross he is. He'll go in that hard. But look, he was right beside him, right behind him. Still couldn't stop it.
So those touches, few and far between, but vital right there. And as Bruce said, it's like real estate. It's about location, location, location. Goal square is pretty good, especially when you're first there. Wide of the pack, cracker, brilliant pickup. How is that? Kicks inside the 50. Time against them, 5 seconds. They needed a clean pickup. Marnie gets it out of the pack. Wait for the siren. He's not to know that, Roden. He should have taken the kick. He did not. And at quarter time, Port Adelaide should be well pleased. We talked about early goals. They got a late one as well. Generally, when it was fine, they dominated. Two wily veterans. They know their trade very well. Neither one of them touched the ball. Coming away as Hayes kicks it down towards half forward. Saints needing some early goals. Boss missed it. Over the football is Symes. Has it between his legs. The ball up right on the 50.
Just going to have to make some moves, Rossi Line, and we'll go down to the matchup soon with Tim Watson, but I'm sure that you wouldn't have been happy with that first quarter.
Wide of the pack, Del Santo coming up to his 10th possession, wheels around, lays it off. Montagna kicks inside the forward 50. They need somebody down there to take a mark. Voss a bit stiff. Surgeon got it away. Burgoyne kicks it up towards the wing. Sean missed there by Gilbert. In turn missed by Corns. Eventually Del Santo, Fiora, now Graham alongside the centre circles. Kicks back towards the 50. A dive down there by Voss. He can take a mark, Voss. Plays on immediately. Hayes sold into trouble. Voss goes to the pocket. Milne takes the mark.
The hardest pocket to score here at Amy Stadium.
Just be careful in coaching over.
Voss was stiff, I reckon, a moment ago, but got back with another one. So Milne just waits to kick the full forward. Voss going and Gehrig off the ground. Had a miss, a chance here though. It's a behind. Goddard involved in the action. Gee, Gehrig had a chance there. Big opportunity.
Well, after missing a week too, you kind of come back in, and that is what you call a fresh airy.
And it's that sort of night. They're the ones you need.
Yeah, need a little bit of luck, don't you? Well, not the best kick.
Big hook by Cassisi. Ball well done. Got rid of his opponent too easily. And now Voss with a real chance, and he's drilled it home. They needed it.
Had 3 chances already for a mark, Voss. Probably should have been paid one only moments ago. Does finish off well. We spoke about experience. When it is wet, slippery conditions, he can always rely on a bit of experience. Can kick a very good goal.
Good to see him back. So often when there's a new coach, some players fall out of favour. Making a statement tonight. Mark Williams looking on in the meantime. As the Saints get closer, the margin just 11 points now.
Thanks, Manny.
McBurney, sorry.
just been a real interesting matchup. We said about Adelaide and Clark, Dennis. These two, they're going to go at it all night, and don't be surprised if it's split right down the middle at the end of the game.
I wish just one would touch the ball. There's Gassisi, slung. Burgoyne, clever. Corn, slick. Surgeon goes back after it, but Clark got there first. Ball camped over the football. Chad Corns does well. Milne steals it away. Well done. Stephen Milne. Probing kick inside the forward 50. Gehrig from behind. Voss once more. Comes back to him. Question of accuracy. And he pops it through. 2 in a minute.
If he keeps his form up, Ross Lyon will have no option but to play him each week. Still, the ball came in. Fraser Gehrig caught behind again. 5 times now it's come in, and Gehrig's been behind. Suggests Rossi Lyon gets the message out to Fraser Gehrig. Get in front. Good contest, however, but Brett Voss, he just may prove to be the difference between all 4 of the Saints on the forward line this week.
So Voss 2 goals in a couple of minutes. Port have had 1 kick in 3.5 minutes of footy in the second quarter. Ox, this is what you've got to look forward to. Have a look at this. Choco.
That's just sweat.
Might be sweat now. No, that's the Adelaide rain. Burgoyne, Hayes, St Kilda with their tails up. That one ricochets away. White goes to ground. Harvey caught up by Marnie. And suddenly Port need one.
But you think that's just about a winning margin at quarter time, and we know that with a footy you don't score as often, but gee, they've brought it back to within 5 points and we're only gone a couple of minutes.
Terrific start for the Saints. Clark and Lade again. Graham tried to just soccer it away. And now Peter Burgoyne.
Just hanging off the pack. Goes across the body. Tread right. In fact, it was White who spilt the mark. Marnie. Big scramble just inside the 50, and the umpire again, no alternative. They're working overtime.
And David Roden and Cracker there, we can see 2 young players have had pretty good first quarters. Just they'll run the game out, they'll come back on.
No, the ruckman touched the ball. Keep that stat. Ball out of the congestion. Charging in Pettigrew. Salopek was legged. He's going to get the free kick. Coming up for his 10th possession, Stephen Salopek. He grew up barracking for the Saints, and Robert Harvey was one of his footy heroes, along with Tony Lockett and Nathan Burke. Montagna just grasping at straws and or legs. There goes the kick down towards the pocket from Salopek. Big leap down there. Bentley missed it. Harvey eventually digs it out. Hayes goes back. Fisher involved earlier in trouble, and the ball goes across the boundary line. Hayes tackled on the boundary by Bentley.
When you do come up against one of your heroes, when you barrack for them as a kid, I remember playing against Dermot Burden one time and just didn't tackle quite as hard when he went near it. What? No, you always got that little soft spot then.
It's a hard man. Probably very wise you didn't tackle him as hard.
He was playing for the Swans also.
Oh, you could have been.
I was going to say, that's when he got soft. Ball's little kick. Surgeon underneath. Saints doing well. Dal Santo, revolt. Chaplin. Back to Loney on his wrong side, but he was clever enough. Salopek again from 50. Good kick. White. Oh, going to the Saints, I think.
Over the shoulder. McBurney scored. We'll have a look at this one.
The arm on the shoulder.
So Gilbert got the free kick and gave it off to Goddard, who gave it to Ball.
In the grasp, gets the kick forward. Revolt went to ground. So to Voss. Clever by Burgoyne after the hand pass from Pettigrew. Pettigrew comes again. Burgoyne collides with Salopek. Now a chance. Fraser Gehrig bursting out of the pack, if you don't mind. Circa the mid-90s. Down towards the attacking 50. Surgeon did well. He'll go again off the ground. kicks it down towards half forward. A lunge at it down there by Marnie. Still going,
good
Marnie.
play.
Brilliant stuff. Heard the voice. Came back to Surgeon. Now Surgeon wants the boundary line.
Yeah.
And the umpire, well, one of them, there were two within 15 metres, and one decided it was deliberate.
Good decision. Yep.
That was fatigue.
So Graham from halfback. Just fell to Salopek, who's raking up the numbers. Out to Kane Corns. To White. But unable to get into it as yet. He provides a lead. Now White trying to draw someone and then goes up and under. Treadray the target. Gilbert gets back. Ebert in the pocket. And then Fisher. Well, the umpire that gave it against Surgeon doesn't give it this time.
Oh, should have.
So laid front spot. Del Santo happy to see it roll over.
And Port Adelaide have been so good in the clearances. St Kilda just on top at the moment.
Ruckman wrestle. Burgoyne taken down. Socket off the ground by Harvey. Fisher falling to the ground. Del Santo goes with his right boot. Not his favoured side. It skids out of bounds. But left half forward for Port. And the crowd in good voice now.
Well, they're right into it. And I think they've got justification too. Two decisions very similar. One called against Port and then the other one.
And the margin has been eroded. That's the operative word tonight. Out of the congestion, Loney. It's down to 5 points now, taken across the line by Del Santo. And this crowd intrigued by the boundary line. Point made. That gentleman goes back undercover. Throw it in. Laid. Flicks it down. Surgeon went down. Ball. Good pickup under pressure. Floats one shy of the wing. Reaching over the top. Voss knocked it away from Salopek. Close to the boundary line ball. It was flicked to him by Goddard. Out of bounds again.
Goddard looks like he's got the job on Chad Corns now. Both the Corns boys, after a fantastic start, a little quieter.
Well, Del Santo is actually going to work him pretty hard, and we know Del Santo's got a very good engine.
Clark and late again.
It's a good contrast, though, the footy tonight compared to what we have seen. Hard, tough, in and out it. Pretty predictable how the ball is going to bounce. Teams have got to adapt. They've got to be able to change their style of play.
Lade probably just won that. Hayes bravely in. Peter Burgoyne. Salopek, Surgeon. Loney gets the clear kick to half forward. Harvey from the side.
Lenny Hayes is down.
Goddard, Montagna. So Hayes is okay. And had the big knee in round 9 last year. Harvey's kicked to centre wing. Revolt over the back. Voss got a bit of a shock, I think, and almost fell into his bread basket.
Lenny Hayes coming off.
Stay there. Stay there.
Just have a look at this. You'll see.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what you call crunched.
Ball towards half forward then for Port, doing most of the attacking in the last 5 minutes, but the Saints are playing much better now. Thompson at close quarters made it very difficult for Attard. Now we've got a whistle, and the free kick is coming back to the Port player on the ground, and that's Sean Burgoyne.
This is a pretty tough game of footy at the moment.
Not bad seeing a game of footy occasionally in the wet, is it?
No, it's good.
Different, not pretty, but these players really applying themselves now. A war of attrition.
Just Lenny Hayes again. Oh,
Wow.
look at he's in strife there, Burgoyne. Yep, he's in. He'll be. That'll be seriously looked at.
No doubt about that. Hayes. That's not to say he's guilty, just seriously looked at.
Yep.
Milne knocks it towards the wing. Chaplin cleverly. into the path of help, and Pettigrew back inside the forward 50. They keep on coming. Can the Saints repulse them here? Diving over the football, Gilbert getting out of there. Treadway snaps and misses.
He's sharp tonight, Treadway.
First score for the quarter for Port. After Voss's couple of goals got the Saints back within a kick.
Just watching there beside Mark Williams, Jason Cripps knows a fair bit about the Saints, spent a lot of time down there.
So Graham goes along. And Harvey read it well off Clark. Clark was clever there. Harvey getting so much of it. And Gehrig on the long lead. Ricky Olorenshaw.
Yeah, we saw Lenny Hayes get absolutely poleaxed in that contest before. He's gone down the route, he's complaining of neck and shoulder pain. Just at ground level, the tempo's really picked up, and some of these contests are bone crunching.
It is a real arm wrestle at the moment, isn't it? Both teams hard at it.
A couple of players gone quiet, Bruce. The Corns boys, only 2 possessions between them this quarter.
And there they are. Ox
another
right
one.
on cue. Chad's kick off the ground, but it was snaffled by Fiora. G. Harvey getting so much of the football.
Goddard. Baker is free. He's got it now. Needs to work off the man he's marking, Baker. Only his second possession inside the forward 50. Everything falling into place for Darryl Wakeland. Well done. Marnie. Kane Corns goes to the outer side. Cracker's got it now. Just forward of half-back Cracker. Looking for Bentley. Well, Fiora stayed off him. Bentley's got the ball. Salopek slides in. Coming up for his 14th possession.
Skill level's been pretty high, though, considering the conditions.
Symes to Lade. What will the big man do? Will initially stop it. Now he kicks long down towards full forward. Treadway takes a wonderful mark. Turns around and kicks the goal.
Well, Mark Williams now will send out the runner and will say, when you get the opportunity, get it in long, because Treadway is hot. And why Mark Williams be just licking his lips? He has been waiting for his superstar to stand up. Tonight might be the night. Wet conditions not suited for a big man, but every time it's come in, and I think it is a mismatch with Cozzy. I prefer Cozzy down forward, but they just don't have the versatility down back at the moment.
Treadway's read 2 long balls really well tonight. The Wilson one in the first quarter, the Lade one there. You know Lade's a very long kick.
2 strong one-on-one too, Bruce.
So a couple of goals in it. And now Chad Corn, so an ominous sign. And Fiora had it snatched away by Bentley doing well. And he goes to full forward. Ebert, half a chance. Well done, Fisher. But Ebert, it's got a quarter of a chance now. He goes to the front of the square. Treadway, terrific footy by Kaczynski. Bangs it away with courage off the ground. Thompson. Goddard has to squeeze it out, and he does.
Close to the boundary, Clark. That's Xavier. Knocked away by Pettigrew. He's developing, the former West Perth player, into a very handy defender for Port.
Yeah, good spoil there by Kaczynski. Treadway had his name written all over that.
And Treadway did everything right, trying to turn the body into the oncoming player. Wasn't for lack of effort, he didn't take the mark. Goddard smothered off the boot. Thompson knocks it forward, taken by Harvey. Slips it away to Clark. He gains about 30 metres along the ground. Milne set a task. Surgeon. Burgoyne. That's Peter. To Corns, that's Chad.
Had to be better than Milne. Just gave it up too easy.
Short one. Brother Kane. Back to Chad. Where's Graham? Get on the end of this. The kick goes down towards the attacking 50. Off hands. Loose at the back. Fisher. Nicely. Baker now making his presence felt. Goes to the outer side. Chad Corns once more. Full-chested. Came and found the football to Symes. Over the top and White right on the 50.
He can kick this. He can kick it a long way.
You're 1 metre.
Treadway offers.
In fact, I think he'd be the best set shot for Port Adelaide.
All his goals this season from set shots.
He's got 30, shot for goal.
This is a heavy ball. He'll kick from 55. It will take a massive kick. It's pretty good. They compete about 5 metres out. Big leap from Blake off hands and across the line.
So worth the try, wasn't it?
Robert Harvey just sitting on the bench. Just have a look at this. Block to the contest. Corns. Should have been a free kick.
He's got the old Gary Hocking tapes out.
It's pretty effective. Interesting stage for the Saints here. They've done a lot of hard work to get back. Corn starting to star again. He's a burst footballer, isn't he? I mean, he's just taken charge again in the last 5 minutes.
Well, as soon as you say that they haven't had a possession, they hear. They can sense it. It's almost the vibe. And racked up 4 or 5 touches in a couple of minutes.
He's up to 14 for the match. So Graham given plenty of leeway here. And then forced to kick Cassisi, so poor effort in the end.
Nick Riewold's going to get upset soon. He's just done lead after lead and they've wasted it and haven't given him any opportunity.
Chapman's kick pretty ordinary. Blake, Del Santo to Clark. Clark at halfback.
Slips it away, Montagna. Okay, where's the man we were speaking of? Riewoldt. In fact, he's coming off the ground. Voss, meantime, a de facto centre-half forward. Flicks it across towards McWalter. Comes back to Gilbert. Gilbert goes towards full forward. In front, Wakeland pretty easily. Knocked it down in front. Follows up. Burgoyne, no real pressure. Saints must do better.
Well, Fraser Garrick has just been lazy. Behind again, Dennis.
Yep, Symes towards the outer side. You tell him, I'm not going to. Over the football out there, Marnie, and I think Marnie will get a free kick, and that was rather casual too by a Saint, just falling into his back. Marnie with Treadway trying to work his opponent out of it. Kaczynski did well. Backhands it to the line.
Well, Tim Watson said about Stephen Milne and Fraser Garrick before the match about not being able to get the footy when they play away. They've had 7 touches between them, and Tim Watson spot on. Haven't really delivered yet away from home.
So that was Grant Thomas on radio a couple of weeks ago making that statement. Fraser struggles and Milne with an early goal, but not a lot.
Well, he would know, wouldn't he? Grant had them for a long time.
Mark Williams going to be a dad for the 5th time later this year in September. Pauline, his wife.
They're good breeders over here in Port Adelaide. A lot of kids in the playing group too, Bruce.
Michael Wilson, a father of 4. Peter Burgoyne, 3. It's a long list as Xavier Clark comes off. And on comes Luke Ball. Harvey sitting it out. So Port with his handy break again.
Bit of experience on the bench too.
Thurstons and Blake, the number 2 men. Baker, little one, gets it outside the danger area for a moment. That's hard. Well done, Cracker. Inboard. Symes.
He's back.
Let's go down to you, Tim.
Well, Sean Burgoyne's just come back on the ground. He's getting a little bit of respite. Baker hasn't gone to him yet. He's been picked up by Gilbert in the forward line. That will be dangerous for St Kilda if that ball gets in there quickly to him, and that matchup still is maintained.
This is Montagna. Fisher across half back, looking to pinpoint it. Hayes seems to be okay now. Rain continues to fall. We played about 10 minutes. The rain came, hasn't stopped since. Approaching half time. This is McWalter. Margin 14. It was 18 at quarter time. In front ball, a half chance. Del Santo running out of space. Oh, clever mark. Chad Corns leaving an impression in this term. The game was flat and suddenly it was Corns, this man, who really grabbed it by the scruff of the neck and sparked his club to their current situation. Kane Corns waits for the Thurston's kick and takes it inside his defensive 50. Now he wants to go, comes across the ground. Wakeland, meters in the clear. Oh, well, that's an interesting kick. But that's not the moment out of 250 games he would care to remember. They scramble for it at half forward for the Saints, who desperately need a goal. Cassisi back to Loney, who floats it towards the wing. Almost the mark there for Fisher. Ebert, a couple of attempts. Roden lays it off. Peter Burgoyne back to Roden, sandwiched, gets the kick away. Out of bounds on the full.
Aren't players important when you one grab in conditions like this? And this is what you call ordinary. But
Fisher doing a good job on Ebert at the moment.
yeah, doing a wonderful job. You're allowed to do that though in your 250th, Bruce.
He hasn't made many other mistakes all night. He's been terrific. And there's Fisher. Speaking of him, and tread rate.
He's sharp tonight, Warren. Very sharp, and the crowd are actually understanding that he's just about back to some of his best football. That's commitment. They sting those ones too, and the footage is hard and it's wet and it's cold.
He's got a real appetite for it, hasn't he? I thought he was good in the last quarter against Collingwood. He had 6 disposals, a lovely little gift of Marnie, and he's gone on with it tonight. Ball couldn't get clear. Symes, he's a dogged player, Symes, just at the beginning of what should be a very promising and productive career. And speaking of a bloke taking it in the last year or two, that man has Salopek. He's gone up a notch or two.
Just riding in the rain. Chad Corns goes down and the umpire will do it again.
Revolt just came back onto the ground. Brett Voss coming off for a rest. Worked pretty hard, Brett Voss, been good. Chad Collins is certainly, as you said, Bruce, a burst player. Tredray is inspirational. Clark's probably been the cleanest for the Saints, and Salopek, as you said, he's just getting better with each game.
Close to the boundary line, Pettigrew cleverly takes it out. So, for all his running, Nick Revolt just 3 possessions. Inside 50s, dominated by the power. Lade and Clark, please. Well, they didn't touch it. They practiced that, Roden and Cassisi.
Clarky, that was you. No, that was you, the second one.
Had a place in the game tonight. They'll be pleased. Roden's got the free kick. He's on the wing. Valuable pickup so far this season. This man, a bit player with the Tigers. Knocked forward by Symes. Like him, ball spills wide. Burgoyne foxing. Goddard goes after it, slaps it across the line. He was the only one that wanted it.
Well, the Birdies had to make 3 of those decisions. Well, the free kick was played against Clark, so the umpire spot on again.
Cassisi, Saints have only been inside their 50 3 times in the last 22 minutes. So it's been played at one end at the moment, but not a heap of damage on the board just yet. It's a 14-point game. Peter Burgoyne, gee,
that's WrestleMania, Stevie Baker.
Just about knocked Revolt out, I think, has it?
He's in trouble, Revolt.
So that loose leg coming up on the boot. Ebert back to Cracker. Cracker with pace, brilliantly done. Goes to 50. Hasn't quite got the accuracy or the length, and still in big trouble here. There's Nick Revolt.
Let's have a look at it when he gets onto his feet.
Ricky Olorenshaw.
Yeah, what happened right in front of me? He copped an elbow in the head. He tried to get up a couple of times, but has had no chance to get up at all. His eyes were spinning. You see there, he gets hit straight in the head, and he doesn't look well. He's just walking past me now. Actually,
Wasn't an elbow, it was a boot, wasn't it? Just came up. It looked like an elbow, certainly did, but it was a boot that collected him. Let's have another look here.
Out of size 9 elbow.
Yeah.
Bentley over the football there, as you could see, but the action behind him. And on the outer side, we pick it up again. Symes, close to the boundary line. Fiora steps around that boundary line and kicks it down towards half forward. White, well done. A couple of free kicks there. Gets the second of them.
Rewarded there for front position.
Yeah.
Strong, hard, get in front.
Geez, had an unlucky run, Nick Revolt.
St. Kilda in general.
They have, but you get the feeling almost they're a brittle team now as a result. I mean, you worry about the safety of some of their players on the ground. It sounds odd. There's Wakeland towards the wing. Gee, that took off after it hit the chest of Ebert. Socket off the ground by Burgoyne, and again gains about 50 metres, runs it out of bounds at left half forward.
Yeah, Ball, Revolt and Kazitsky, just 3, Dennis, that had no luck at all over the stretch.
But it's unusual you go to the footy and worry about the safety of guys, and I do with those 3.
Yeah, you do.
So Port attacking. They haven't got the reward for the dominance of territory in this quarter. Laid off the ground, and Voss's 2 goals came about 90 seconds apart. Great to see Hayes back, playing well. Pettigrew very good again. Talked about his emergence. Peter Burgoyne slips as he kicks. Xavier Clark, Harvey back on the ground. Clever, brilliant vision by Harvey to Kosicki, to D'Alessandro, and now the build up to Graham.
Across the ground he goes. Needs a punch forward from the man coming up. Should have done better there, Burgoyne. Going back and breaking free. This is Gilbert. Still going. Gilbert kicks inside the forward 50, but directly to Chaplin.
Fraser Garrick a long way down the ground. There's no forward option there. If I was Ross Lyon at half-time, Fraser Garrick would be just about the majority of my talking to.
What would you say?
Give us something, because you've given us nothing for the first half.
I'm not sure that would get me going. I need a little more from you. Here's Surgeon.
Well, you can sit on the bench if you don't.
That's better. Surgeon towards the outer side. Tracked out there by White. Close to the boundary, White. Kicks it towards the wing. Sliding in Fiora. Did well. Good recovery, Fiora. Little chip. Goddard's got it. 60 metres out. Maybe a little further.
Pinch a late one here to really hurt Port. They've had the control of this second quarter.
Absolutely. They're up by 15. Could be a heck of a lot more. Goddard goes for distance. Down towards full forward. Fraser worked out of the contest. Off hands and out of bounds.
Here's Ebert just coming at it. Puts the big chest out. Just got his, I think his timing wrong on that.
He's got a trampoline in there.
And as Mark Williams is giving him lessons on where you should get the body positioning.
Lade belts it away. Milne, Roden.
It's not clean, Milne.
Porter got to be careful not to give a free kick away here with a Saint over the footy.
Oh, good
Roden in. So hard to get out at the moment.
Gee whiz.
And up until a few moments ago, Port had 16 of the last 20 inside 50s and had scored 1 goal 4-0. So they have not been able to make a lot of use of it, admittedly in very hard conditions. Burgoyne on the end of Cassisi. Treadray been terrific.
Should be 52, just about. Just frustrated there, Cozzy. As we said, very sharp one. Wonderful first half of footy by the skipper.
And a good solid half by the home team. They've got the edge.
Saints just to see whether or not he can generate some play.
I was just going to make the point. Unfairly maligned. It wasn't his doing what we saw up at the Gabba. Started the second half on Friday Night Football. Clark goes up and wins it down and is going to get a free kick as well. It's been a bit of a, pardon the pun, damp squib, that duel between the two ruckmen tonight. They've leapt a lot, touched it infrequently. Baker camped in front of the pack, kicks it about 15 metres. Falls to Burgoyne, who goes out to Bentley. There's Sean. Now Bentley kicks towards the wing. It pitches just in front of White, who's claimed by Gilbert. And we'll have a boundary throw in on the outer side.
It's going well, White. There's the bench for Port. Roden, Thurstons and Cracker. No Wilson, as Ricky told us. And the Saints with their problems too. Salopek been good. Goddard underneath it. Goddard had the job with Chad Corns for a while in the second quarter when Chad was a bit quieter, but then he just let loose again.
Salopak's the one they've let loose all night to St.Kilda too, and subsequently he's got plenty of the ball.
Speaking of that, Tim, Harvey's done that again tonight. Kosicki gave it to him. Harvey, slow motion, that time to Gilbert. He was an emergency on a dozen occasions last year. Voss almost, as Vreevolt and Chaplin got rid of each other. Milne, Clark, Fiora, went down low. Revolt, Montagna. Port did well there. Wakeland's having a good night, isn't he?
Their pressure's been good all night. Wakeland's had a terrific night on Gehrig. As we see him sitting out the start of the first half, he just has to go harder, Fraser Gehrig.
Well, you talked about that right at the start of the night.
That was the problem. Some of his efforts weren't that inspiring in the first half. Harvey did well again. Clark got it out of the congestion. It was kicked forward by Ball, and as you can see now, the Saints are outnumbered, but they're doing pretty well. Eventually Baker gave it to Hayes, but he was upended. Then Surgeon away to Bentley, and Bentley comes through midfield and kicks towards half forward. Treadray, Kosicki did well, worked in front. Now he's camped over the football in the back. Bit lucky.
They've had some good one-on-ones, haven't they, Kazitsky and Treadray? Treadray having a terrific night. Kazitsky's kicked to Montagna, Chad Corns. Gee, I enjoyed talking to his dad at halftime. The Ox, you've made it down there. What's it like?
Oh, it's cold. It's wet as well, but a couple of the key matchups. Baker's on Burgoyne, no change there. Cozzy and Goddard are double teaming Treadray, and on revolt is Chapman. So a pretty big job for Chapman, who's done really well in the first half.
Marnie's going to get a free kick here. He's clever, Marnie.
Straight to him.
He's a burst footballer, but he can find the footy in unusual positions, can't he? And he can make a contest when you least expect it. He sits this one up, Ebert front spot. He hasn't been able to get a handle on it all night. Clark went through the other Clark, Big Matthew, and Port hold it up about 40 metres from goal.
It's been a really difficult night for the small forwards. Milne hasn't kicked a goal at the other end of the... he's got the one goal at the other end of the ground, and Ebert hasn't been able to score a goal yet either.
And Peter Burgoyne blazes and misses. So Port probably 2 goals away, I reckon, Dennis, from just about ramming it home here at 37-21.
I think you're right, Bruce. Mark Williams looking on, had his first 10-goal defeat as a coach against St Kilda, round 9 of 1999. I doubt that sort of scoreline will prevail tonight. Errant kick comes in, Cracker takes it. He's shown some mercurial touches tonight. Here he is in the rain, 40 metres out, goes towards the kick-off line. Goddard reaches over the top, missed the football. It slides out of bounds then in the opposite pocket.
He's going to be some player, that kid.
He's silky, isn't
a ton of class.
Treadray and Kazitsky off the ball. Boundary throw in as the rain gets heavier. In front laid. Ball got the crumb, kicked it directly to Symes, who sends it back over Ball's head and through for a goal. That hurts.
Just couldn't penetrate ball, could he, Tim? And Symes an unlikely source for a goal.
Yeah, it's a difficult one to clear. I mean, you're under pressure on that occasion, and the ball just sort of fell to Symes, and it was a pretty simple kick on his behalf. He's going to be a good player, this bloke, too. He's just starting to develop and find his way in AFL football.
They say that's probably why they let Montgomery go, for Symes' development. They felt that was the key. This rain is pouring down, and Port have the wind at their back. In the last 31 minutes, Port have kicked 2-5 to the Saints nothing.
And I think they're controlling the stoppages and the congestion now, too. They're much stronger at the ball.
It's a big lead, isn't it?
Knock it out! Punch it out!
And
Punch it out! Punch it out! High
You
footy.
think too, Tim, that Voss's 2 goals came in a minute, basically.
That's right. And they haven't looked like having a wing forward all night. Just look at that rain come down now. Thank goodness I'm up in the box.
I think the Ox will be slow. He'll be waterlogged.
Gee, I hope they've got a poncho that fits. Del Santo, Burgoyne off the ground.
This bloke hasn't given up.
Baker.
Watch that battle that he had with Sean Burgoyne in the first half, Bruce, and he just would not give him an inch. He was just whacking him every time they went to the stop plays, knowing how damaging and dangerous he can be at that part of the ground.
He's one of the competitors, isn't he?
Lost him now.
Absolutely. Too high on Salopek. He'll get the free kick. Liked his game a lot. Suited by these conditions. Knows how to find the football. And that is just a reckless tackle. Surgeon. Now Pettigrew. Drives it down to half forward. This will be interesting. It skids on. Treadray did well to stop it. Goes after it. Fiora's in there. White stood up. Ball on his knees following that one. Attard in the opposite direction towards the outer side. Chad Corn stands in the road. Fires it back. Back comes Clark. Nothing can be taken for granted tonight. Clark to Fiora. That was clever. Knocked it to his own advantage, Fiora. Checks shy of the wing and sends a very high ball down towards half forward. Oh, Del Santo being held surely. No free kick, Del Santo. Off the ground towards the boundary line. That will do. Kane Corns gets it across.
Gee, it was clever the way he just kept the ball on his favoured side then. Should have been given a free kick. He was held by...
The armbar was on.
I've got a theory, Dennis. I'm going to share it with you in a minute. Montaña's kick. I reckon John Howard will be pleased with Port. They're the drought breakers. Consecutive weeks in the rain in 2007.
That's not bad going, is it?
As well.
Melbourne, Adelaide, sharing it around.
Lenny's ball.
I think John might be praying for something else soon.
That's controversial.
Yeah, I think you're spot on, Bruce.
Hayes inside the forward 50, and the Saints haven't been there too often inside that forward 50 since Voss's couple of goals.
They haven't looked like penetrating, have they? They just can't find any space, and they can't find one-on-one contests. Port have been good at pushing back, sliding back the numbers.
The invitations will be pouring in, if you'll pardon the pun, for Port to come to a town near you around this country. On the wing, White under pressure, kicks towards half forward. Kazetsky fell over, not so Treadway, wonderful balance, 75 metres out, measures the kick into the path of Ebert, had to come around his marker there, Fisher, almost the mark, goes to ground, both of them go again, well played Fisher. Lee Fisher able to get it out of bounds. Ricky Olorenshaw.
I've been listening to Nick Delisano here at boundary line. He's been having a few cracks at the umpire because he's not happy with Kane Corn's attention to boundary throw-ins and stop plays. He wants him to let go.
So Lade through his fingers. Free kick to Clark.
He's more of a marking forward, isn't he? But he's only had the 3 possessions tonight. He's not really a speedy type of half forward that's going to break open and pick up one of those bouncing balls. He's more of a bloke that leads to the ball and takes the marks, and these conditions just haven't suited him tonight.
He got 3 early. He was very good early last week at the MCG, and of course he was very good early in this season. So 22 points, Tim. What's it worth on a normal night? Is it about a 6-7 goal game?
I think it's about a 7-goal game.
And Sean Burgoyne with the advantage, strolls through and misses.
He's been trying to do that all night. Baker's done a really good job at holding him up and stopping that run, but he just got through on that occasion.
Been a long, long time since the Saints scored anything in this match.
The players who are used to getting a lot of the football sometimes are thwarted simply by the fact they haven't seen it much. And that time, didn't think his way through it too well, as if Baker was there. Only his 8th possession so far, Sean Burgoyne. This kick up towards the wing is fisted on by Lade, taken by Corn, stolen away by Harvey. The gain's about 30 metres. That's a very wily kick as it trickles out of bounds. Couldn't call that one. David Schwartz.
Just looking at an interesting matchup. Chad Corns is being picked up by Aaron Fiora. He's going to have his work cut out. Got to stay tight and just don't give him an inch.
Lade tries to direct it behind the pack. Fiora was there. Clark's kick intercepted by Salopek, who gave it to Cassisi. The high ball back towards the wing. 3 Saints up. Not good policy. Lurking behind it was deflected by Marnie into the path of Salopek, who socketed it. And again Treadway close to the boundary line. It spills out as White goes sliding in. Just get the feeling, just watching Burgoyne there, finding some space wide of the pack. But maybe Baker is finding it tough now to stick with him.
Tim, you talked about Riewoldt and Gehrig before the match. There's just been no impact at all, has there?
Riewoldt's pushed himself right up on the ball now.
Just trying to get a possession to get himself into the game. That's the 5th disposal only.
Well, Port haven't got that spare player behind the ball now either, so there's one-on-one contests all over the ground.
Luke Ball. I almost feel like Port could go in for the kill here, I reckon. They could burn this match in the next 5 minutes. Burgoyne starting to get a fair bit now. Treadway quick off the mark as he's been all night. That one slipped through Kazitsky. Treadway, I think, tempted to go for the sock. I knew it would have been in danger. Free kick.
Told him he hasn't got the ball. He hasn't got the ball.
You wonder what sort of damage Treadway may have done tonight had the conditions been dry too. He looks like he's just about ready to blossom back into his best form.
Fiora didn't do well there. He just got disorientated. Marnie back to Kane Corns. A quick kick with Harvey lurking down. Treadway uses his body really well. White can't quite get the handle. Ebert slews off the boot. Now Bentley's got a bit of time. He's got Loney outside of him. Can he break the tackle? No. And Clark to Harvey, and the Saints look like getting it out.
Harvey close to the boundary line, kicks it up towards the wing, but a wayward kick. Not a good kick by his standards. Out by about a metre.
Plenty of space there, Dennis.
Yes.
If they can get the ball down the other end of the ground quickly enough. That's going to be the problem now. It's just going to move from contest to contest.
Well, at the present time, it's all being played in one half, isn't it? That's interesting. Blake from behind appeared to be into the back of Thurston's. No free kick. Revolt. Game's about 20 metres. Loney and Hayes. Loney actually slid away from him, as if on a giant water slide. Roden, the left footer, down towards half forward. Revolt with courage went back. Missed the mark. Ebert tried to control the ball and finesse it out. Didn't succeed. Comes back to him though, to Chaplin. Chaplin 40 metres out. Misses everything. Out of bounds on the full.
He was the late conclusion for Brogan. Yeah, that's Revolt's trademark.
That's what he's known for, isn't he? He has pushed himself up onto the ball now.
And starting to find it a bit, Timmy. If you could have a big 10 minutes here.
Looks like he might be coming off right now.
We won't have a big 10 minutes there.
He's going to be replaced by Gehrig.
Salopek on the end of it. It's going to be interesting just to see how far Salopek can go. He was a high draft pick. He's taken a while, but he's coming on strong in his career. Peter Burgoyne. That's how hard it is to mark the footy. Kane Corns back to Peter Burgoyne. Got a bit lucky there, Port, but the kick slews away. Hayes. And he keeps it low. Gehrig back on the ground. You'd love an early touch coming back here, Gehrig. Just something to get him going.
Would love a touch. 2 on the night.
Jason Cripps there in the box alongside Mark Williams, a former Saint.
After the throw-in, Salopek gets another possession. That was a high tackle, surely. Del Santo comes through, kicks towards half. Oh, that's a clever mark.
That is a great mark in these conditions. He's done a good job. Voss got a couple of goals, and he's gone onto him and done a terrific job. Just shut him right down.
That's the way. Stop the ball with the palms of the hands and then go and mark it. Here's Loney. He's a cross half-back. His side in control. Kane Corns. Loney runs for him. Kane Corns uses him as a decoy. Some surface water now in evidence. This is Pettigrew. Up towards the wing. Chad Corns checks off the ball. Fiora came with him. Corns did well. Sockers at about 30 metres. Xavier Clark picks up, running out of space. Kicks it back along the boundary line. Brilliant pickup, Del Santo. Blake sold into trouble. Bentley got him. Jarred out of there. Marnie gets a hand pass away. Kane Corns. Graham got a fist on it. Only as far as Marnie. Hand passes down towards the half-forward line. Cracker into the path of Burgoyne. That was with intent. Not sure about that one. Burgoyne from the side of the boot. Was that a push in the back? Burgoyne comes again from the hand pass of Ebert and kicks a goal. Wow.
Well, that was a soccer cross from Nathan Cracker then. He actually kicked the ball off the ground, as we'll see in the replay. Here's Marnie picking up the ball. Just watch this. Cracker just sees that it's Burgoyne on his inside. Actually kicked the ball, not at him, to the space in front of it so that he could run on the ball. And then Burgoyne just follows up and just finds a little bit of space for one of the first few times tonight.
He's kicked a couple, Timmy. He hasn't a lot of footy, but he's got 2 goals in a low-scoring match. Down to you, Ox.
And Baker had just come off only moments ago. Thompson straight on. Welcome onto the ground with a goal.
So Sean Burgoyne's influence growing, isn't it? Yeah. Not big possessions, but 2 goals. That was a real team effort by Port Adelaide.
Throw advantage!
So you heard the advantage given to Roden, to Loney, and Loney on the burst. White front spot, almost Gilbert, Ebert. Getting to a lot of contests now, Ebert. Marnie did pretty well. Ebert with a chance. A good chance now. And across the face for a behind. And again, Marnie, Tim, he's just got this ability to make a contest from nowhere.
These conditions suit him down to the ground too. They've been so powerful at the ball, Port Adelaide. I reckon just before half-time I was noticing how much stronger they were going to the contest than St Kilda players. Mark Williams just with something to say there on the phone.
Josh Marnie has made a living really with desperation. He's not really a finesse player in the true sense of the word. Their leading goal kicker last year with 29. Ball is out of bounds at right half forward.
He's a great story though too, isn't he? He was on football's scrap heap just about, and he had his career resurrected here, came on the rookie list and played in that grand final, that winning grand final side for Port Adelaide.
We talk about those 29. 6 came against the Saints on this ground. Out of defence, Montagna. And the fact that he was top goal scorer is, I guess, good news for Josh, but bad news for Port. You don't like your goal kicking being won by a guy who gets 29. Harvey, well played, socket off the ground, Gehrig. Not much conviction there in the opposite direction. Pettigrew, plenty of conviction there from Ball. Still he goes, was taken high, no free kick. Well done, Harvey. Digs it out of the pack. Sliding in there was Clark. Fraser can't control it, but it's out of bounds. Frustration all around.
In that preliminary final, he got 5 against Port and brought up his 100th for the year, Fraser, but that must seem like an eternity away. The advantage given. Salopek strolls away. Tredrea continuing to be good, and a very good kick by Tredrea. Ebert's been desperate for a goal all night, and he's got one. Do you think the floodgates have opened up, Tim?
Well and truly now. That was almost like the old Pagans panic. They had all the players pushed up to the congestion on the wing position. Tredrea pushed right up. Just watch this. This is terrific play by Tredrea. Gets a free kick there, but plays on straight away. Looks up, sees that Ebert is on goal side of his direct opponent, Fisher. Just kicks it to the space out in front of him. Ebert just slows himself enough to get control of the ball on the ground.
Well, starting the night, Brett Ebert had kicked 12 of Port's 56 goals for the season. And he's been working in this term particularly on that forward line. Corns goes off the ground. Adelaide goes back and takes the mark. So the last scores in this game, 11 of them, have gone to Port. They've kicked 4-7, while their opponents have been scoreless for 45 minutes. Baker's back in the action. Kicks close to the boundary line, and it slides out of bounds. So is Baker back running with Sean Burgoyne? I presume so. Just taken off, reprogrammed and freshened up. He's looking for Burgoyne at the moment. Can't find him. Decides to pick up Chad Corns near this pack. There's Corns, in front Montagna, and out of bounds it goes. Or does it? No, it stays in. Now it's out. Little extra mustard.
Port have pushed right up again. Tredrea, Marnie and also Ebert are outside the 50-metre arc, and they'll try that play again if they possibly can, just kicking the ball over the top into that space in their forward line. It's open there.
Well, the umpire blew the whistle before it went out. In there was Clark to revolt towards half forward. Voss has got the run of it. Pettigrew reaches over the top. That's been a story tonight. The balance of the Port players. Interesting hand pass. Hayes met by Pettigrew, and that hurt. That really hurt as Pettigrew followed up his hand pass. Salopek slips it away. Loney was in trouble. Salopek over the top. Burgoyne's hand pass was good. Pettigrew was still in there. Kane Corns knocked it out. In the opposite direction, Del Santo. Montagna thrown out. Down goes Hayes. Feeds it back. Ferguson trying to find a way through, or rather Gilbert trying to find a way through. No way through there.
He's hurt, Hayes.
That really got him.
Watch this bump from Pettigrew. That bang just crunches his shoulder.
Ricky Olorenshaw.
Yeah, Grant Alex, you heard that. Even my heart missed a beat, so Lenny Hayes is courageous to get straight back up.
He's taken some tough ones again tonight, and here's the one over the back, Tim, and Bentley's onto it. Not a bad looking kick, it's a behind. He's an interesting player, Bentley. Just his 7th match tonight. He always gets a lot of it. A rookie in 2006. And like Symes, Pettigrew's another year on or two, as we see Hayes coming off, Rick. So spot on there, and he really is hobbled up, isn't he? But Porter, an interesting mix. It's going to be fascinating to see just how deep they can go into this season. It's another angle of the Hayes crunch from Pettigrew, who's got a big, strong body. Decided not to put the tackle on, went to hip and shoulder. And he's off the ground. Clark gets overlaid. Roden, the ball's come out. Thompson, Revolt, and Burgoyne. And the ball in. Dennis, you talked about them fast tracking at the start of the night. Well, they're going to be 4-1 by the look of it, and they've only done that a couple of times prior to this in the history of the club.
And they're doing it in a mix of conditions, which is good as well. Sometimes young teams can only do it one way. They're no one-trick pony. The Burgoynes combining there. Sean DePeter, who kicks it down towards half forward. It pitches in front of Graham and runs on. Kazitsky goes back. Moments ago we saw Lenny Hayes in the change rooms. More bad news for the Saints. Well, a couple of doses. They're out of bounds on the full. Sean Burgoyne will take the kick, and the fact that Hayes is off the ground, and one wonders whether he'll be back. Burgoyne looking for Treadray, awkward half volley, and the big man can't get down and find that one. And Kazitsky making a point.
Ross Lyon made a bit of a change before Dennis. When Peter Burgoyne looked up, he was going to kick that ball over the top, but Jason Graham has actually been sent back there now to play that free player behind that group of players, so he'll play in that space behind the port forwards.
Lade and Sean Burgoyne almost pulling off what they did last week against Collingwood so often and effectively. So the Cozzy, and look at Ross Lyon's reaction, and it's a tough night. And the Saints are doing it tough right now. And the injury curse keeps going. Bentley continuing to get the footy. Kicks to a contest. White front spot. Couldn't quite. Good contest from Goddard at the back. Fisher done well on Ebert. Back to Goddard. Back to Ball. Doesn't get it far enough. It was touched by Cracker. Fisher did well. Kazitsky. Harvey. Gets around Cracker and then caresses the footy towards Revolt, but it's a hard night to take marks like that. Voss did pretty well. Back to Harvey, continuing to run hard. It's his trademark. He's been doing it for 20 long years, and Gehrig's got hold of it at long last.
Fraser inside the forward 50 then. Lurking behind. Here's a chance for McWalter. Keeps it low and skids it through. And their first score in close to 50 minutes. Wow. 58 players 22, approaching three-quarter time. Port in control. And a chance to start the season 4-1. Who would have thought that? There's Kane Corns in the back pocket. A lot of people like the improvement they saw late last year. Some prepared to follow it and put Port in their 8, but not too many. And their fans pleasantly surprised. A lot to love about this team. Here's their veteran. Just ambling up towards the halfback flank and beyond. An amazing piece of football. And then pinpoints it to Treadray.
There's two blokes on him then too, Dennis.
Treadray launches this one, maybe giving some forwards a chance to get back on the football. Revolt pushed off it. Chaplin can get his second. Yes, he can.
You're speechless, Tim.
Well, I am, because when they were trying to move the ball forward, Port, when Wakeland had the ball across half back, he looked up and there was nowhere to go. Goddard was ahead of Treadray. Kazitsky was behind him, and they both just stopped and waited for Treadray to split the two of them and take that mark, which effectively set the goal up.
It's an assist for Revolt almost there in the goal. Down to you, Ox.
Nick Revolt may have made an error there, but not one player, not one of his teammates went up to him and said, better luck next time.
Well, since St Kilda's last goal, it's been 31-9 inside 50 for Port. Complete domination. And they're going to get a lot of percentage tonight, and they're going to hurt the Saints in that area. Chet Corns bounces it just inside.
You've just got to marvel at some of the modern day players and their ability to perform skills in extremely wet conditions. I reckon Porter got 5, 6 excellent wet weather footballers out there all around the ball.
So Lade and Clark front spot, Roden and Baker, and now Ball having to concede. Gee, danger here. Goddard had to attack it, and he did. He did very well in the end, but his kick only as far as Sean Burgoyne, who takes them on. Actually timed it very well in the wet. It went 50 metres easily, didn't it?
Well, no one else was able even to mark it above his head. He managed to do that first, and then he just tried to position the ball across his boots so that it wasn't going to slew off to the side, but in the end it did anyway.
His influence has grown, Dennis, as the match has gone on.
Same with quite a few of them. And so, fighting fire with fire, Goddard is doing a Wakeland. Meanders up to half-back, kicks beyond the wing, in front. Chaplin did well, directed it down to Roden, who goes short. Peter Burgoyne's got it, could almost be 50, will get 50. It'll come back. And this will take him well inside the 50-metre arc.
He wasn't in the marking contest then, Matthew Clark. He grabbed hold of the jumper, just trying to slow up Burgoyne. The umpire right on the spot. Just watch that. Not in the marking contest, just grabbed his jumper there. That's the infringement.
Peter Burgoyne, so directly in front.
Hey, brother Sean's had a fair quarter this quarter. 12 possessions, 4 clearances and 2 inside 50s.
When he's on, almost impossible to hold. And he beat one of the best ones in the competition. Got away from him, Stevie Baker, as Peter Burgoyne slots another goal for Port.
Well, there's the offender, Matthew Clark. That's all it took. Just grabbed hold of the jumper there. He thought that he was just going to swing around and play on. The umpire right on the spot. Correct decision, 50-metre penalty. He's had a pretty busy quarter too. Peter Burgoyne's had 7 touches this quarter, and they've got right on top around the clearances now, Port Adelaide. They are a class act.
Where are the legs going to come for the Saints, Ricky?
Well, they're really feeling the pinch down here. Andrew Thompson had to come back on the ground to replace Lenny Hayes. I said he had a crook knee. He wanted to come off, and the bench said to Tomo, mate, you've got to stay out there, we need you.
Well, here's Sean Burgoyne yet again. Bangs inside the 50. Goddard belts away. But clever to Lade. He's normally a good kick. Well, he's a good team man too. Treadway gets his third. A celebration now.
Let it go, all clear. No.
Lots of good things are coming out of this tonight for Port, Tim. And Treadway's one of them.
Holes everywhere. Now, I watched that game against Collingwood last week, and I thought, just like you did, that there were some really good signs about the way that he came on in the last quarter. Got a couple of important touches, and I reckon had tonight been a dry night, he would have had a real night out. It's been a difficult night for big forwards, and he has been exceptional.
Warren Treadway, 3 times best and fairest, 7 times the leading goal kicker for Port. A stellar career. And that percentage on the decline as far as the Saints are concerned. Here's Lade inside the centre square. One-way traffic now. Chad Corn spears in a pass, and the mark is taken by White.
Play on, no 15. Play on, Kane.
Their skill in these conditions have been unbelievable.
Kane Corns. The Saints' percentage has fallen from 99 at the start of the night as Marnie scrambles at about 10 metres. Baker just simply let it fall to 86 right now. It's like the ASX today as the ball goes around the other side. Leading back is Revolt. Well played, kept coming. Lack of torque though. McWalter stole it away from Revolt, who was trying to slap it forward. Fiora across the body. Revolt goes down towards half forward. Spilt by Fraser. Well, the crowd are enjoying Fraser's misdeeds and misfortunes, but he, like his hair, I think the patience is wearing a little thin.
Look at those inside 50s. 19 to Port 4, just 4 times inside their attacking 50. St Kilda this quarter.
What is their percentage, Dennis, right now? Do you know?
86, I'm told.
So a big fall off. Surgeon on the end of it. Not a bad ploy. He's got about 70 metres on that kick. Over the top. Ebert on his wrong side. It was touched. You heard the umpire. Cracker. Now the umpire said he dived. Goddard gets it from Fisher, and Goddard concedes. And what a massive turn for Port. Port have had great third quarters this year. Remember the 10 goals against Fremantle in round 1? They're the best third quarter team in the comp. And in this quarter, it's 6-6 to 1 behind. So they've enhanced that reputation early in the season.
This bloke's clearly St Kilda's best player tonight, Robert Harvey, at 35 years of age. That's a worrying sign, isn't it?
Yes.
Ball from Fiora, and he was probably just about the best last week, Tim, when they were getting beaten by the Bombers. Wakeland. Gehrig. No goals in Brisbane this year, Gehrig, and not looking like one so far tonight. And Walter on the end of that one. And decides to give it off with a shabby hand pass, and that just about sums it up, I reckon. That sums it up. So at three-quarter time, it's all Port Adelaide. It's a one-horse race here at Amy. It's 11-12 to 3-4. Well, Matthew Primus is now with the Big Ox.
G'day, Matty. You only bloke not wearing a jacket. Pretty good start to the match. What was the message at three-quarter time?
Mainly just on balls, get the clearances going. We turned around in the third quarter there, and he just put it on to him to kick 5 goals in the last quarter.
Warren Treadway's been pretty exciting. Back to some good form.
Yeah, look, great form. Able to get the ball one-on-one, and he's been able to dominate from there.
And finally, Michael Wilson. What's the prognosis with him?
A bit of a shoulder, so we're not quite sure how long he'll be though.
Good on you, Matty. Thanks.
So the Saints are reeling. Matthew Primus is happy, and this forward line looking very dangerous now. Can they press on? A situation here where they could crush their rivals. As we said, the Saints' percentage spiralling downward in that last term. Goddard at the base of all of that, trying to knock it out. Montagna goes after it. Bentley was waiting for him. In goes Lade pretty solidly.
He didn't dive on it. Thanks. Watch the late.
Hey, Dennis, we should also mention that their three best defenders, their three best tall defenders, St Kilda, are sidelined with injury at the moment. Maguire, Hutchinson, and also Fisher.
Pettigrew falling to the ground, knocked away by a teammate, eventually Symes. Now McWalter, Harvey, who's tried his heart out, kicks inside the forward 50. Well played by Loney. Once he realised it was past, was able to shepherd. Chad Corns goes out very wide. Montagna will send it back in. Looks towards the middle. Sends it long. Pettigrew off the chest. Missing it, Revolt. Putting a body in solidly, Chaplin. Chaplin kicks it outside the 50. Loney battles there with Montagna, who did him again. Back it comes. That's better. Finds a teammate in Voss.
Choco's going to get very animated, isn't he? As Voss goes to full forward, Corns at best. The only man there. It was his burst early, Tim, that really gave Port something in the first quarter, wasn't it?
He's been magnificent from start to finish, Chad Corns. He is...
Well, he's fast becoming one of the top 3 or 4 players in the comp, isn't he?
I was just going to say, he's in the top 5 players in the competition, Chad Corns.
It's a poor kick. Montagna, bit of a push, gets back to Goddard. Xavier Clark at 50, now about 48. He started well, Clark, and that's a poor finish for him with that kick.
The thing with Chad Corns is he can play as a key position defender, he can play as a key position forward, and just a bit of friendly fire there. And he can also push into the midfield. I mean, he's got every base covered.
Now Roden's got the football alongside the behind post. And looking back at the record books, St Kilda have already got the lowest score ever recorded at Amy, to their credit, or otherwise, I'm not sure that's the correct word. 3 goals, 8. So no incentive really to do any better here tonight. Down goes Voss over the football, tries to knock it out in the opposite direction is Bentley. He's a hard nut. On the ball up. Big pack around the football, just outside the 50. 78 plays 21. Over the top, Fiora. Slapped towards the boundary line by Bentley. Harvey can't stop it. Robert Harvey. I think Tim made a very good point. At his age, it's not healthy for him to consistently be their best player. He's done it a few times this season already, and there he is again. Some magic. Trying to force it through. That's almost impossible. Cassisi had the ball stood up. Pettigrew, ditto, over his head. Kane Corns. Into space, that was clever. Now he chips it up towards the wing. Ebert works in front. Gilbert arrives. Ebert tries to push it into the path of a teammate, but the boot of Del Santo was there first. Gets it across to Revolt. Revolt kicks it back to half forward. Any one of about 4 power players could mark.
Dry hands.
And Lade's got it. Now some space opens up. Chaplin to Loney, the designated kicker. Gets it inside the 50, deep inside. Clark gets back. White's got him. Gilbert threw it away. Graham. Well, he won't be celebrating his birthday tonight. It's been a tough old night. And Insurgent off the ground. And mark taken by Graham. Ricky Olorenshaw, what do you got for us, Rick?
Oh, St Kilda looked a very tired team at three-quarter time. I just don't know where they're going to get their run from. Lenny Hayes has gone for the game with that shoulder injury. Andrew Thompson's gone with the knee, and now Clark's gone down in their forward line.
Well, it's a big worry, isn't it? And just slipping back to the pack, the Saints tonight. They're back to 2 and 3 after being 2 and 1. Started the season so well at the MCG, the first Friday night game. Daryl Wakeland has been very, very good. Yep. And so's this guy. Chad Corns. Very wide. Chaplin. Clever enough. He was the inclusion for Brogan tonight, and he hasn't let his coach or teammates down. Del Santo and Corns, they've had a very interesting duel.
2-on-1.
Rodan's been good. Corns just had to squeeze it out, and now Del Santo. And that's a clever kick to Gilbert at centre wing.
Around the other side he goes. You can see Port players just jogging off him. Here's Milne, a quiet night. High kick inside the 50. Lade goes up two-fisted, knocks it down. Goddard, is it their first goal after half-time? Thank Goddard, it's Friday.
He's had a bit of the ball tonight. Brendan Goddard played across half-back for a lot of the night. They've had 18 touches. Just a whack on the boot there by Milne just to get into that hot spot. Lade tried to punch the ball away, just didn't do enough with that thump, and Goddard was just positioned beautifully for that and just screwed the ball back around. And he is a very skillful player, Brendan Goddard. Mark Williams not happy with what he's seen in the last quarter.
Porter kicked 7 goals since the Saints' last goal, which came 64 minutes ago. It's a miserable night weather-wise, and that doesn't help when you don't get a goal for over an hour. Kane Corns cleverly. Marnie. Roden just couldn't quite find the footy. Ball courageously to Graham. Shoved off it. Gee, Fiora almost in danger. Roden doing well. Down low. Handball out from Corns was good. To Burgoyne. Lovely kick.
Held the jumper.
Yeah.
He had a handful of jumper. It's got to be a free kick.
Had the better of it, Fisher, until the third quarter, and then Ebert got really busy, got to a lot of contests. It's a good call. And Ebert should kick his second. Kicked 24 goals last year. He's more than halfway up on that this year with a 14th goal now. He's an interesting package, isn't he, Ebert?
He is, but the opportunities have just kept coming tonight, haven't they? The ball's been inside the attacking 50, and just by weight and numbers of opportunity, that's a beautiful penetrating kick with a wet football. Then that was going to go right over the top there to Ebert. And just before that passage of play too, a wonderful handball there by Kane Corns. He works tremendously hard to go and win the footy.
Winning in all facets of the game now, 12-12, 4-3. And meeting token resistance brilliantly by Lade. Chad Corns, the high ball down towards the attacking 50. Baker a fist defiantly. Gilbert worked off it. It spills across to Kazitsky. High ball comes out towards the wing. The trainers scatter. Tracking it back, Blake manages to keep it in. Cassisi in 2 minds. Comes to Blake, but over the top as expected. It went to Harvey. Now Harvey can run inside the 50. Well, not a good kick. Boss, it wasn't 15 as you heard, and it didn't carry. Harvey's got it again. That's better. Montagna, though, gave it away. And Wakeland, who's been rock solid. It was halfway out. What can you do?
Rock solid, except for 2 kicks, Dennis, tonight. And that was the second one.
Amazing, isn't it?
But he's done it on both the left and right.
Was I calling them both at the time mid-kick?
Clark's kick. No, he's been terrific. 250 to remember, eh?
Yeah.
Del Santo. White made a contest with Walder. Surgeon, Kane Corns, has been very good again. And here's Wakeland. That's a clever kick. Surgeon just didn't have any momentum, but he was able to break it, and Kane Corns staying busy. Roden, gee Tim, good pick up this fella.
He's been terrific.
Great story as he went to training and trained in front of the team, and they decided they would draft him, and here he is. It was a week before the national draft. Treadray split a couple. And here he is again. And it's a good kick. Symes is on and goes bang to White. White on hands and knees. Ball trapped in. Ox.
Well, there's a couple of positives for the Saints. Brett Voss has played pretty good. Lee Fish has been exceptional all day, and they've got 7 days to get ready for Carlton. Welcome to coaching, Ross Lyon.
The eternal optimist. The Ox, he was telling us about the Demons as well last week. But no, fair enough. Montaigne's little one. Not going all that far. Harvey, terrific. Back to Surgeon. Surgeon from 50.
Robert Harvey, as if he were in the luge, lurking behind this is Fisher. Comes away and drives it out towards our broadcast side. Well, this is an outstanding performance by the veteran. He's been everywhere, and still he can't lift his younger teammates. Fiora across the ground. Goddard, who's got their only goal of the second half, spots a vacant square and goes long, but the ball drifts off the outside of the boot and trickles out of bounds in the pocket. Port, not a team to be trifled with in coming weeks. Melbourne, Richmond, Sydney, Geelong. Certainly the next two eminently winnable.
And they'll certainly start favourite as they did tonight in this match.
You'd think they'd win at least 3 of those 4.
Well, if they do, Tim, they'll be 7-2. Gee, that was one of St Kilda's best plays of the night from the boundary umpire. Bentley. A fight going on between Surgeon and Baker. A couple of tough little nuts there.
Play the ball.
Lade was down on his hands and knees for ages there, waiting for it.
Anyone will do, says Stephen Baker. He's just angry now.
What was he like to coach, Tim?
He was a good young man. He was a good young man.
He is a competitor.
He's a lovely competitor.
It's instinctive, isn't it? Cracker back on. Treadray off. He's done the job tonight, Treadray.
Harvey is off as well.
Gee, if you're doing votes tonight, Harvey's almost squeezed his way in, hasn't he?
Yeah, 30 possessions, on a night like tonight. Here's Wakeland.
Hasn't been too many cheapies in there either, Dennis. He's had to work pretty hard to get each and every one of them.
No help. Corns from Kasisi. And as we've said, we've been singing the praises of Port since before this game started. So much to like about them. The quick fix. And tonight it hasn't been so much about speed. They've got plenty of that. There's a terrific mark. Marnie storming up the ground, taking it on his chest and laying it off immediately. The kick inside the forward 50. Roden pulls it back right across the face, out of bounds, hits the behind post. Tonight has been about application and wanting to, and I suppose helped by the injuries of their opponents.
Surgeon and Baker. Probably call that a draw, wouldn't you?
That would be a main event in most stadiums.
Why would you bother? The stage of the game.
Thompson, caught by Peter Burgoyne. Corns boys, Tim, have had 59 disposals between them. 32 for Chad and 27 for Kane.
I would think Kane is close to the last quarter specialist in the AFL.
Fiora. Milne over the line.
Might set myself a task during the week. I'll just find out what he does rack up in the last quarter, Bruce. He seems to me that he gets a lot of his touches in the last quarter, goes to work on his opponent in the first 3 and then just goes after the ball in the last quarter. Harvey's had plenty of the ball. Del Santo hasn't been St Kilda's worst player either.
Harvey, a giant shadow over those other players on a wet night.
Knock it out.
Suited by that situation, Roden tried to pick it up and go through the pack. He's still in there. He's certainly got the body shape for this sort of game. Salopek now over the ball, attracts a crowd, and it will be thrown up right on the 50. So the frustration now starting to ebb out of some of these Saints players. A warning for Andrew Thompson.
Pushed him out.
Sean Burgoyne had a really slow...
Pushed him. Can you pull that out of... Right, I was right there.
It's more about what they see, and that's the problem there for Luke Ball.
That was the point he was trying to make to the umpire. That happens 50 times a quarter.
In those packs, in particular, on a night like tonight. Burgoyne gives this one a ride down towards full forward. Terrific mark, Salopek. I think I'm on the Salopek bandwagon. I was talking on the news tonight, actually, about young players, and this is one I said I really liked. He'll be right some of the time.
He had a lot of injuries when he first arrived, Dennis. It took him 2 or 3 seasons to get going. I watched him play a lot as a junior. He was playing centre-half back then. He grew pretty early. He was a big kid for his age, but he was always going to make AFL football at some stage.
25 metres out, racking up the possessions. And now he adds a goal.
There's some irony here, Tim, because when he came to Port, he was involved in a Barry Brooks trade. Barry Brooks goes to St Kilda. Salopek gets to Port Adelaide. Brooks left out tonight at the last moment. Salopek starring.
There's been a lot of sides that have just been, that were, after 2 or 3 years, just sniffing around Salopek, thinking that maybe Port were going to lose patience with him and keen to do a trade.
So Port maintaining their superiority. It's a sorry side. There's two players there with different stories to tell tonight. One should hold his head very high, and for Gehrig it's just been one of those nights to forget. The 235s have been all right tonight, haven't they? Harvey and Corns.
Very good.
We've almost got 70 between them, I reckon. 30 and 32. Del Santo to Milne. Milne quickly onto the boot inside the forward 50. Revolt, I hope he hasn't hurt himself there. Chaplin was brave. Pettigrew continues to impress. Off Baker's feet, boundary throw in. Had a couple of big losses this year. We've seen them, Dennis, up in Brisbane in round 2, here tonight. So a couple of really bad losses on the road, the Saints.
A lot of worrying signs, I think, Bruce.
Free kick, Clark.
And they're in a situation where the season could slip quickly if they can't get players back. And that injury toll, like Melbourne's, is growing by the week.
And people thought over the last few seasons they were right in the mix to win a premiership. Well, maybe that door has closed. Chaplin punches it wide. Voss goes after it. Voss trips over in the back against Chad Corns.
You fell on him. Chad, you fell on him. Fall on his number, it's a free.
No argument from Corns. And Voss trips here. And then Corns clatters into his back. So Voss to take this kick. And they've struggled on the forward line, although they haven't had it down there all that often, the Saints. Unable to establish any goal-kicking presence tonight. Voss has made a good return. He's going at his 3rd. In these conditions, and on his return, a pretty good return. 3 for Brett Voss. 5 for the Saints.
Well, he's had to fight his way back into the side. Voss, he played a lot of the football last year, started the year at half back, and then they pushed him forward. He was able to kick goals for them. He's been okay tonight. They've had limited they've had limited opportunities, the forwards. You would not have wanted to be in the St Kilda forward line tonight. The ball just hasn't been getting down there with any regularity.
Brett Voss for the third time in his career, 3 or more. His best return is 4. So that's not bad on a night like tonight. He's got to be happy with his return to AFL footy. Had the ankle injury prior to the NAB Cup. Goddard, Blake, Peter Burgoyne. Blake just pushed it to Fiora. Chad Corns. Held up in the tackle by Gilbert. Ebert on his wrong side, and it was always in a bit of strife there. And the one off the ground just went out. 14 goals for Ebert so far this season in 5 games. It's a good return for a small forward. Goddard's long one. Wakeland doing so well. What a wonderful game he's played. To Roden.
Short passes it, hugging the boundary line. Cracker slides in, takes the mark. When he fills out, he's going to be a very nice size. Rangy at the moment. Spirals one down towards the 50. White reaches over the top. In fact, trying to claim a mark down there was Kazitsky. Nothing doing. Gilbert falling to the ground. Fiora hacks it forward. Baker to Fisher. Gains about 15 metres. Cracker, Symes. Got the hand pass away just in the nick of time. Fiora, McWalter. Now Montagna. Kicks to midfield. How will it bounce? Well, yes. Milne ran wide of the ball, and Chaplin also ran wide of the ball, seeking out Milne. Surgeon kicks inside the 50. White with courage, lunges at it. Kazitsky picks it up. Well done, Marnie. Down goes Symes. Roden picks it up. Balances up. Goes in and kicks another goal.
Tim, that Roden story is getting better by the minute.
I tell you, when you watch a performance like this, though, you just shake your head and you wonder why he still isn't playing in Richmond colours, don't you? I mean, what he's shown tonight, what he's shown in the 4 or 5 games he's played this year, his productivity, you just wonder what it was that he couldn't produce while he was at Richmond for Terry Wallace. He's been a great find. He just complements the talent they've already got in the midfield.
Well, Tiger fans back in Melbourne would be pulling their hair out, wouldn't they? But he's kicked 8 goals so far this season. He's been very good. Again tonight, Peter Burgoyne. Marnie's handball. Fisher cut it off. He's tried hard, Fisher.
Knock it out. Well done.
Clark. Marnie. Roden again. As Dennis said, he's got the perfect shape. Ebert. White's been good. Just back to Gilbert. Chad Corns couldn't quite. Goddard.
Holding on. Free kick, held on to him.
So the advantage down the field. The Port started
Free
tonight.
kick to you, Brendan. Held the player in the tackle.
Port started the night with a percentage of
Stewards against Corns.
about 7 better than St Kilda. And right now it's about 35, 36, 37% better than St Kilda's. So it's been a big win.
It's been a punishing win in more ways than one.
So Goddard from half-back.
Comes to centre half-back, finds Baker. Baker takes a while, releases the ball. Now there's a real chance here for McWalter and the Saints. Inside the centre square, gives it away. Onto the chest of Salopek. His 23rd possession, well, exchange is fair play. Hits Voss. And Voss is about 30 metres out. Well, this would be some story. 4 goals and a tally of 6 in a side that gets beaten by about 60 points. So Voss. Distance shouldn't be a problem. Sends it on its way and he misses. Wide right. Nick Revolt sitting down. Why bother? There's some talent on that Saints bench at the present time. Interesting story, talking about Nick Revolt, under a new coach here again. New coaches and nothing new to him. I wonder what's going through his mind. It's been one of his darkest nights tonight. He certainly worked hard early on. There's his new coach. Nick had 5 coaches in 5 consecutive games. We'll talk through that. With a scoreboard like this, we need stuff late in the game. As the ball comes out towards Surgeon. Southport in the QAFL Grand Final when he was drafted. Had the knee injury, came back with the VFL reserves at Springvale. VFL seniors at Springvale. Had his AFL debut under Malcolm Blight. It was Blighty's last game. His second game was under Grant Thomas. 5 coaches in 5 consecutive matches. Shane Corns has got it.
You've had us listening.
That's not a bad stat, is it?
It's a beautiful stat.
It's not a bad stat. 3 minutes to go in this game. Do you want me to do it again?
Can you just repeat that again?
I will. Fine.
It's good enough,
You've been
Dennis.
flippant. Around the outer side, Symes sets it up, working in front. Thurston's almost the clever mark. Blake, Thompson, Del Santo, who's drifted out of the game, centres it. McWalter controls it.
You would have been nervous coaching him, Dennis, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Thinking, I hope he goes. If not, I'll have to. Burgoyne. He's a beautiful player, Burgoyne. And there's his brother improvising. Baker, Clark, well done. Gets around Marnie, and the kick's a good one. So not much joy for the Saints. And there was a resignation on the look of Ross Lyon, wasn't there? Look a moment ago. Blake inside the 50. Matthew Clark just awkwardly over Surgeon. His teammate gives him one to go on with. Toby Thurston's. It's double whammy.
Thanks. Right over it. There it is.
How long have you been sitting on that revolt stat for? How many years?
Till a moment like we just had, Bruce, actually, you know, like when the game was a little bogged down.
Would you keep calling for a while? I'm in the bog.
Must I? Okay, here's ball, 50 metres out. Chips it down towards the pocket. Can Fraser get a late goal? Wakeland stays off him. He centres it. Beautifully done. Nice kick. Milne, that's ambitious. Comes back, takes a shot, but unbalanced himself. Lost his compass. And he kicks it behind. So the margin's 60 points. Under 2 minutes to go.
Could have been a lot worse than what it eventuated.
He would have the body already of an 86-year-old Sherpa. Voss, and Milne kicks a goal.
That's Milne's second. 2 goals from him, none from Gehrig tonight, none from Revolt tonight. So he's been, of the 3 blokes coming into this game you thought might kick the goals for St Kilda, he's been the most productive. Voss is the other, of course, who's kicked 3 goals.
And Goddard got the other one only. You can't win it.
Night,
you can't win if Revolt and Gehrig have no impact. Saints have actually put their nose in front in this quarter, 3-2 to 3 straight.
It's amazing how mad that'll make Mark Williams too, even though they're going to win this game comfortably.
Well, they're going to win it big, Tim, aren't they? It's 96 to 42. Treadray's back in good form. Their emerging players continue to do well.
Yeah, I didn't.
So, Tim,
Chad Corns, not in any particular order, but Chad Corns has been a wonderful player. Harvey's been the best of the Saints tonight. Treadray, I think he's been the pick of the forwards out there on the ground, and Sean Burgoyne, who just got himself going after quarter time despite that close attention from Stephen Baker, and you could have thrown Wakely in for the job he's done on Gehrig, and Kane Corns and Roden's had a very good night as well.
Montagna, so a chance for a 4th goal in the final term. And he just misses. And I think Harvey's just demanded in the end, even though the team's been thrashed, it's just weighted numbers and effort. He's demanded, hasn't he, that he probably gets a mention. He's just been terrific. He got the most Brownlow votes for the Saints last year, Harvey.
Yes, and he's second all-time now, isn't he, behind Gary Dempsey? I think he's moved to 205.
He may go on again next year.
He won't catch Dempsey. Well, he may, but You'd have to play very well. At half-back, this is Symes. Clock is running down. And you wonder where to for the Saints now. This is Fiora. I remember an old American coach telling me when I was over there that with the draft and the salary cap, it's not about stockpiling talent, it's about assessing talent. And I think Port Adelaide have done that very well. The Saints may have to do it now. In trouble was Baker. Montagna stolen away by Cracker. Jams it on the boot. Down towards half forward. In front, White had it knocked away. Gilbert did well, didn't have the football, was being held. No free kick. Baker once more to Goddard. There's the siren. Blessed relief for the Saints. Port Adelaide win their 4th game of the season. It seems they're for real. They win big time by 53 points at Amy.
6-7-43. Let's hear it,
And Tim, just on that point of Dennis, the irony, Dennis, it was on this ground in that prelim final, they probably lost their best chance.